Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft Amplified server. We're here in Hermit Frills enjoying some fireworks. Oh no, I think the fireworks have run out. We're heading back over to the stadium. I want to say thank you to all of you for your support on the last episode. Seems a lot of you really liked this project. I really enjoy it as well. It is awesome to be building a football, well, it's not strictly a football stadium, it's an iron ball stadium. But we're going to be finishing it, I hope, in this episode, which is going to be a lot of fun to do. And I want to start off this episode with a little advertisement. As a YouTuber, it's important to talk about, social media and stuff like that from time to time. I wanted to mention for all of you that I have a second channel. You can find a link to it down there in the description box. And then I upload videos of my live streams to it. And we've been doing a lot of live streaming lately. And I think we're going to be doing a lot more because I've got ideas. I want to work on this stadium. I want to work on other things in this area. And also, I want to work on my base. And so I'm thinking we'll probably live stream here on the server a little bit more than usual. And I'm probably going to be live streaming stuff over in my base and then bringing you up to speed on what we've been doing over there. So be sure to go and check it out. And I know I've mentioned it before, but you'd be surprised there's a lot of new people coming to the channel all the time. And so if you're one of those new people, leave me a comment down below if this is the first time you're watching a Hermitcraft episode. It'll be interesting to see how many people there are in total. And I guess you need to be brought up to speed. We are building a stadium. And, I thought I'd jump down there for a second, but I didn't, which is awesome. Yeah, this is what we've done so far, and I've had a load of feedback, suggestions, ideas, and I can't wait to get started. So first of all, a lot of you really like the cauldrons for seats. They do look really good, and some of you pointed out that when it rains, these things are going to fill up with water, which is quite funny. And I do believe the roof we're going to build will cover every single one of these cauldrons. So that means we don't have to worry about that, but if it rains beforehand, then we're going to have water in some of these, which I'm not sure will look great. But anyway, if you look in my inventory, you can see I've got some banners, and a lot of you were talking about ways to colour in the seats, which is something that I wasn't going to do, but over here in the UK, in our stadiums, we have coloured seats, and it is really difficult to talk and try and think. Let's go with these ones right here. We're not going to use those for building. You have coloured seats, and then in those coloured seats you also have different coloured ones to make out letters, so you can put words in the stadium for like advertisements or your team name or something along those lines. And we're going to sort of replicate that here. So we're also going to take some carpet layer like that. I should have perhaps brought those in different colours. So these are the two suggestions that we got for colouring in the seats. Do I have my sound on? Yes, because I can hear the clicking. Sometimes it is unreasonably quiet in this area. Usually all I hear is zombies moaning, and I've got this feeling that they like congregate down below. Sounds like they're always underneath the stadium, which would make sense because there's iron golems around here, right? And do they go after the iron golems? Anyway, it seems to be strangely peaceful at the moment. Don't blow up my stadium. Let's not get distracted here. Let's go up top and put these banners in, because this is one of the suggestions that we've had, is to use banners. And I can tell you straight away the reason why we're not going to do it. It's going to make the arena extremely laggy. And that's right, I just called it an arena. I'll probably do that. Because every single one of these seats is going to have a banner, and that many will probably contribute to lag. But here's how cool they look. You can put a thing in like this, and that looks really good. And then every now and then you can perhaps, like let's say we've got the letter L like this for Liverpool or something like that. And, not the blue and... Oh, blue and yellow are their colours for all of the fans out there. Let's go and just put the banners. Oh, we're one short. Typical. No, we're not. Like that. And now you've got the letter L spelled out in the stadium, and it kind of looks a little bit silly, actually. And also, wouldn't these ones have, like, banners on the front of them as well? Well, it's very crude, but you can kind of see what we're getting at. That looks surprisingly good, I've got to say. And it's a shame that we can't do that, because we're going to create some serious lag if we put loads of these in. So the alternative is to use carpets, which shouldn't be anywhere near as laggy. And that is a creeper wandering into the base. Since I've been around here, I've had a few mobs wander in here. It's probably because I built a staircase for them to get in at the back here. Previously, I had to sort of hop my way into the stadium. So that's one solution. The other one is to put the carpet on top. Now this would be absolutely fine. It would also stop water going in, which wouldn't be a problem once we get the roof in place. And it doesn't look too bad. I think it's one of those ones that's going to look a lot better from up top. It'll probably depend on how much time we have to do this. So from down here it doesn't look so bad. It sort of adds a little bit of colour. And I think going the whole way around it won't look too great. But from up above, when you walk down, it kind of just turns it all into nothing but colour, which I'm not sure I really like. So we're probably not going to go with either of those. Maybe I'll do a little experiment and download the world and try it in single player and just go into creative mode and put banners on every single cauldron and then see how laggy it gets. Because if it's fine and it turns out it's not quite as bad as I thought, then that is something we could do, which would cost us a lot of wool, but of course we have the wool to do that, right? Because we got Rainbow Fall, as it's now called, and there are guys hanging out here up on the hill. Let's take care of them. There are a lot of mobs spawning around here while I'm working on it. And there's also a pig on a hill. Awesome. Hill pig. Hello. So you may have noticed that I put in some walls over here. I'm thinking about executive boxes, and originally what I pictured is having the executive boxes behind this walkway, because this is going to be where you exit the stadium and then you wander off to some sort of exit, which we are going to include. It's not just going to be, you know, all about looks. We're going to put some function in as well. So look at the view from back here. If we were to put an executive box behind this, it would be back here somewhere. The view would be even worse, so it doesn't make sense. Whereas if you're standing at the edge here, you've actually got a decent view. So what I've decided is that our executive boxes are going to be those two on that side and those two over there. So it's all going to be separated. What we'll then probably do is make exits in these three places, and maybe those two as well, and we'll have some sort of walkway system that brings it around to this side over here. So many of you have been requesting, along with the executive boxes, that we build concession stands and stuff like that. So there's a whole bunch of things we can include with this, and we're probably going to do that out the back here. For now though, what I think we need to do is put that roof on. And I am a little cautious about doing this, because if we're going to add all these walkways on the back, it might end up looking a little bit silly, because the roof isn't going to go all the way back. But I think I can make it work. Maybe we'll make the back side of the stadium kind of open, so there'll just be railings and stuff and platforms to walk around, and then concession stands underneath or something. We'll figure it all out. We've done our talking for the beginning here. It is really time to do some building, and I think you guys enjoyed the time lapse from the last episode, and I think we should do another one in this one. So another job done. That is the ceiling. Probably not too impressive. You might have been watching that and thinking, not too sure about this. Well, there's more detail that's going to go on the underside of the roof that's going to make it look a lot better. We will definitely get to that in a moment. The one thing that we haven't got here is the corners though, so I wanted to take a quick attempt at trying to build them, and it might be a little bit tricky. But one thing to point out, over in this corner I decided not to remove the terrain and just to build the roof into it, which I think won't look too bad from the outside. In fact, I think it'll look pretty cool that it does that. But on the inside we'll probably dig away all the terrain that's down there and just make it look like normal on the inside, which is going to be pretty cool. So I've got a couple of screenshots of how this is going to work. I don't know what it's supposed to look like on the underside, but to make this corner work, I have actually got that bit wrong. Yeah, so when it came to the corner, I just let the builders go at it because they know how to do curves and I don't. And the roof in the corner looks pretty cool. In fact, it's probably the coolest bit of the whole thing because it's quite bland going across, right? Which is something that I was going to change in creative mode. I kept thinking, we can't have it being bland going all the way around. Is this, what level is this at right here? Yeah, I had a feeling it was half slab level. So now double half slabs, I think, go around like this. And yeah, and because this thing is so big, I don't think we're actually going to add too much more detail to the roof, at least on the outside like this, because what we could add is some little like details and shapes where bits of this top bit perhaps go outwards a little bit, you know, just by throwing down a few more slabs. But then we would have to do that the whole way around, and it would just be a lot of detail for something you're probably not going to pay too much attention to, right? I mean, I don't think people are coming here to look at the roof. So in this corner, this actually wraps round and goes into this little bit, and I think the backside is where it gets more interesting. However, there is actually quite a lot to build here, so I think I might just do this off camera. You know, I like to do a little bit of building while talking, but it is tricky. This turned out not to be the best place to build the corner because the terrain is here. The terrain is also there on that corner, and over on those two it's going to be slightly different because that one is shorter. So we might actually get to see the corner in its full glory, but it looks really cool the way the curve has been done. And if we just place a couple more blocks here, I mean, we're almost done. We've just got to fill in this gap, really. There's no need to make it exactly like the other one. So let's just fill it in. No one's even going to see this corner anyway. So you notice that the iron blocks are going through here. That's because we're going to put floodlights on this stadium, which is something the one on the plot world does have. If you've gone and checked it out, you've probably seen it. It has one in one corner, so we're going to have a floodlight in each of the four corners, which will look absolutely awesome. And there will be enough room for it on those ones over there. So anyway, let me just fill in the rest of this. This is going to be real simple to do. This one is yeah, pretty straightforward. The ones over there might be a little bit tricky. But once we've done the corners, then we can move on to the stuff on the underside down the bottom, which is going to make this thing look really good. Alright, this corner of the stadium is almost done. Just got a few more blocks to bring over the edge here. I figured we would make this go all the way across and sort of merge into the building, which I think would look a little better than it just cutting off somewhere kind of rigidly. But we'll take a step back and have a look. What I'm thinking about doing, and the vines will grow back, or we can replace them. I'm thinking about perhaps removing these 4 bits of sandstone and just having it come over there into this building so they merge a little smoother. But that's the corner, and it goes real close to the lily pad over here. And this is the back side of the curve. It looks really cool. I like how it's turned out. And that's our post, by the way, for where the floodlights are going to be, so you can see the other 2 over there. So let's actually drop down here. In fact, we can kind of use the pool of water here to avoid fall damage. Nope, fail. And there's a random armor stand here. I don't even know why. Let's take a step back. And man, that actually looks real good. Now, we've got the walls to put in on the back there, but the way that comes around, that really fills up a space without feeling too overbearing. And I think if we just merge it in the corner there, it's something you're probably never going to see from down here, but at least it will look a little better from up top. That looks really good. And I'm starting to think we may have to design some sort of facade over the front here. This is pretty much going to be the entrance. I was watching Force's stream yesterday, and she was saying that right here would be a good place for the entrance. So what we'll probably do is change this so the lily is going to be on top of the drop, so we can have it like up here, and then the pathway can go through the middle and into this area, and there's going to be all sorts of cool things we'll be doing. Anyway, still got one more corner to finish, and then we'll work on the underside of the roof, which is going to look real nice. Do you know what? This place right here would be the perfect place for a logo, I think. Although, no, that's not in the way at all. Look. Just going to look like maybe that came a little bit closer than you might think. Yeah, right there would be a great place for the logo. It would cover up the back of that. It's sort of in the centre on one side, or it's at the end of the pitch in the centre. Anyway, let's go down below and sort out this roof. And by the way, Earlier in the video I mentioned going into creative mode. Whenever I say that in a video, I just have to iterate. I'm talking about on a different server or a different world. You know, I do a lot of sort of prep and figuring things out beforehand in creative before I go and do it in survival. So just wanted to make that clear. This server is entirely survival. So this is one of the things that I was going to do, is have a strip of yellow clay going around the outside here just to break up the white wall, and then you'd have red on that side. However, these are now going to be executive boxes, so we might not actually keep this. But anyway, let's do the ceiling up here, and I'm just looking at my picture of what I built already, and I think it's going to be a little bit tricky. We're going to need some like scaffolding, which we'll use iron blocks for, but basically we want to extend this first of all until it comes out to where it's going to touch the roof, which I'm not sure is there or the next block. Actually, that looks about right because we've still got a gap, and then we're going to use quartz to fill this in. This is going to be ridiculous. Let's get some scaffolding going here. And just put the one in there, another block of quartz right here, so it gets a little bit of a natural curve going. Now this right here is supposed to have a roof which comes out all the way to the front, I do believe, like that. And then we have another pillar over here. So this is where the roof on the inside is going to start and change colour a little bit, which is a really nice thing to do, just so it breaks up this horrible brown that we have everywhere. It's not horrible, but you know, it's just ominous. Anyway, let's try and jump, man. The jumping when building, so used to doing this stuff, like I said, in creative mode on another server. Building is so pleasurable, because all you got to do is whiz around and fly around, and you can look at it from loads of different angles, which is awesome. So the next thing is dark oak slabs. We're going to put this in this sort of middle section right here, and we need to place it just above where this iron block is. So if I right click there, we're putting it in the same block, but we need it to be on the lower side. So what we'll do is put a temporary block there, place it on the side, oh, not underneath, and then we can work from that. So this whole bit's going to be darker, and that's basically going to come out the front until it matches. Oh, it's so tricky trying to build like this. Why can't I fly? We need a jetpack. Yeah, we're just going to fill in this space. Oh, again, I need to move around a little bit here. There we go. Yes, all of this is going to be dark oak wood. If I can click on the blocks. And that's actually as far out as it comes. Is that correct? Because I can't put another block there. Alright, so it's only the 3 blocks. That's fair enough. The one in the middle actually needs to be removed as well. We're going to replace that with a redstone block so we can power a lamp that's going to go below it. So that's going to provide a little bit more lighting. And we're going to connect these together with some iron bars like this. I also need to put the quartz in on the other side because I didn't do that yet, did I? There we go. No, it's going to rotate itself. How annoying. And yeah, let's just take a step back. So that's basically it right there. You've got the pillars that come out with the curves on either side. Then you've got the change of colour at the top there, and then directly below it the lighting. So we're going to do the same thing over here going over to the other side. So it'll pretty much be the same thing going all the way along. Also, this right here needs a roof. So let's bring it out. It's going to come out by 3 blocks. Now some of this stuff might get tweaked a little bit when these are turned into executive boxes. However, I think in general what you can do with these is going to be a little bit limited because everything here is built out of iron blocks, and if you start changing it, it's going to look a little bit odd from other angles because walls are going to be shared and things like that. So anyway, we're going to have the same section in the middle, by the way, not just in that smaller bit right there. And what we're going to do, I'll build the rest around it in a moment, is have the lamps again, except it's going to go 1, 2, then we'll have a lamp, and then I think it's 4, 1, 2, 3, oh, put that in the wrong place, 4, let's get rid of that. And by the way, these railings here are to kind of represent, you know, where the lights are held up in a football stadium. There usually be some sort of like scaffolding stuff going on around it. So we placed 2 there, so it must be 5 in the middle. Or maybe I've built this incorrectly somewhere. I'll figure it out, but that's pretty much the same thing except there's just a bigger gap. So it'll connect to the back like that, and then we'll have all the blocks above and the redstone blocks, and it'll all be good. So I'll build it and I'll show you it in a second. Okay, we got a couple of them in now, and it looks weird sort of rubbernecking up to look at it all the time. One little thing I did do, by the way, is I added in some extra blocks just here, so that bit kind of rests on top of the pillar, which I think actually looks pretty cool. So let's go and have a look at it from the other side, but I don't think it's really going to make too much of a difference until we have it going the whole way around. Although we've got this to compare. See, that's what it looks like on one side, and oh, that looks like 100 times better when you go from there to that. That is awesome. Yes, that makes a world of difference. Alright, so we're going to do that for the rest of the way, the rest of the way around this thing. In the corners, there's going to be a bit of a cornery design because it curves around, so I build that. Over on this side, though, things are going to be very different, so we'll leave that to last because I have no idea what we're going to do here at the moment. As you can see, we've got very limited space, but I'm sure we'll be able to figure something out. So I need to make up my mind. I noticed that when you break the blocks right there, there's ones above them, so you can't actually see those from the outside. So we could actually go... now that I move around, actually I think it looks better with the wood. Yeah, it definitely looks better. Okay, so I was thinking about changing it out to that, but actually we won't do that. And by the way, I made a little mistake when I was laying all of this out. I measured something up wrong because this right here is supposed to be over in that direction by 1 block because there is a gap of 5 between here when there should have been 4, and that means that this is now sort of slightly out. So what I decided to do is move this here over by 1. You can see where the ceiling used to be. So this is just, a free wide segment now, which probably looks a little bit strange maybe from the other side. So let's take a step over here and have a look. It's actually not too bad, I guess. I'm not sure. It looks alright. I guess because it's symmetrical, it will probably work. But there you go. It is coming along. Anyway, I've got a lot to do. Let's get this finished. See that skeleton hanging out over there? Man, there have been so many mobs wandering into this area. It's quite bizarre. Especially the zombies. They just find a way with their pathfinding, don't they? But anyway, look around at this place. Now it looks glorious. And I made a pretty big change, actually. You remember the segment over there that was 3 wide? Well, I decided to extend it more into the corner so it's 5 wide, and I actually think that looks a lot better. So the corner segment is now different from how the builders did it on my server, so it's just quite simple. It looks like that. It was a little bit more fancy before. It had some more quartz, but it does the job, and it looks pretty decent, and that kind of brings us up to speed here. This back area right here could probably do with some iron blocks on the roof there, but otherwise it's all kind of done leading around to the opposite side. And what I've been thinking is, these pillars, this roof design, it starts right here on the edge, and actually there's room for that over there. So I've got a feeling there's going to be a room for everything, including the corner as well. And I don't really have the time to build it. Well, basically at the moment I possibly do, but I've got a whole bunch of other jobs to do today, so I don't want to spend too much time playing Minecraft. I've got other things to do, so this might be it for today's episode. I don't know. I'm going to see how it goes. If I get more time later on in the day, once I've done all the other jobs and stuff, then I'll record a little bit more. Otherwise, we'll probably do this last bit here in between episodes. So I'm going to do the things I need to do and find out if I have the time. I've done some jobs. I've still got more to do, and there's absolutely no time really to do any more this episode. So unfortunately, that is going to be it. I would have loved to have done more, but hopefully you enjoyed what we did do. It now looks really fancy in here. I love it. But that's going to be it for this one. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.